This is Dr. Bernanke, and today I'm talking about the number one food mistake that people are making for gout, and we're starting now. I have to apologize to you guys because my previous videos and what I've told patients for the years stuck to the old thinking in medicine. But it's clear now, and it's so obvious what the real problem is. It is specific types of food that you're eating, and it's not what we've been taught for years. What I've been teaching people is a big mistake. And to understand that, let's talk about what gout is. 10% of people produce too much uric acid. 90% of people cannot get rid of uric acid. And what happens then is uric acid can build up in your big toe joint, in your feet, in your hands. This can cause gout crystals that are like razor sharp crystals slicing up your joint. When you wake up in the morning, your big toe can throb, your fingers can throb. I've done surgery on patients, essentially cleaning out golf ball sized lumps of these crystals. There is an enzyme called xanthine oxidase, which is involved in uric acid production. 10% of people or so have genetic issues. You might need medication at that point, but 90% of people can't get rid of it fast enough, and there's easy solutions. That means you probably have too much body weight. That means you're creating too much uric acid. You're eating too much uric acid producing foods, or your kidneys do not work well enough to get rid of that uric acid. And gout treatments can be highly effective, but most patients that see me, they have several reasons they don't work. Most people are incorrectly diagnosed. Instead of actually having gout, a lot of them have arthritis, they have tight joints, stiff ankles, stiff knees that are actually causing arthritis type pain, but they think it's gout, or somebody told them that it might be gout because they didn't see true arthritis on the x-ray, but it still doesn't mean it's gout. And I would say the majority of the people that come see me that think they have gout don't actually have gout. That's why I go over imaging, ultrasound. You can drain the joint, check for crystals, you can do blood testing, and check for uric acid levels. When people come in though, you can tell that it's gout. You don't need to go to your doctor, even though I would love to see you if you're in Michigan. You can look at your joint, and if you wake up in the morning and it's red, hot, swollen, and yesterday it was feeling good, it's probably gout. But if you just went running, if you went for a long walk, that might be arthritis exacerbation, or if you work on a factory floor, a hard floor. And the trick with gout is we used to be told that it was things like seafood, that it was things like fish, that beef is bad for you, that chicken is bad for you. And you know, as I've made all these videos, we learned in medical school and in all of the literature that meat is evil, that it can cause gout, that it can cause all these issues. But as I see all these people doing the carnivore diet, doing keto, it's almost like their gout goes away, and these people are eating all these supposedly bad foods that contain purines, which are converted to uric acid. But here's the trick. If you look at the calories over the last 100 years eaten in the developed world, meat has stayed the same, fish has stayed the same, fruit has stayed the same. What's gone up? High fructose corn syrup, added fats. That means like seed oils that we cook our fried chicken in, our fried fish, and grains have gone up. Those three food groups have resulted in almost all of the added calories. And about 100 years ago, gout was unheard of, except for the kings that drink alcohol and eat all these sugars. But then 100 years later, almost 5% of the population has gout. So what's the difference? Added sugar, added fructose, and also alcohol. In the past, we used to eat sucrose, which could be used in your blood immediately. But then high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS, was introduced because corn was subsidized. The problem is corn is made up of fructose, and fructose has to be turned to fat and to sugar storage. It can't be utilized directly in our blood. So the problem with fructose is it has to be turned to fat or to storage. So we keep it in our midsection and we grow tummies and get less healthy and develop diabetes. But it's not just that. The average daily capita calories in the United States has mostly been made from flour and cereal products, added sugars, fats. You could see the calories the average American gets from vegetables, from fruit, from dairy, and from meats, eggs, and nuts are not what's going up. And you can see we didn't really have high rates of diabetes or heart attacks 100 years ago, but now we have astronomical values. When looking at this graph and our diabetes graph, how can anyone possibly blame fruits, vegetables, dairy, meats, eggs, or nuts? 100 years ago, these were pretty consistent. The only thing that's really changed is the added sugars, the flour, the processed diet, which is now economical and profitable to eat. From a business standpoint, sugar is amazing. It's high calorie. No one's starving anymore. Sugar is dirt cheap. Sugar, honey, agave, high fructose corn syrup, rice syrup. These are polysaccharides that break down quickly and instantly become sugar in your bloodstream. Fructose has to be broken down through a more complex pathway than glucose alone, and it can't be utilized directly in the bloodstream. A lot of that sugar is now converted to triglycerides, which deposits in the liver, leading to fatty liver disease. You develop visceral fat in your abdomen as well. This is one of the main reasons people get that unhealthy, stubborn fat that they can't get rid of. This is what's making the difference. It's not lean meats, it's not seafood. Even though those things can be converted to uric acid, it's really that added sugar, that fructose. And if you look at it scientifically, actually digesting fructose and sugar, there are steps involved in between there that actually create uric acid. All that added high fructose sugar, all those added sugars in our cookies, in our sodas, in our juices, that's what causes gout attacks. That is the number one leading thing. Also alcohol. Certain alcohols like beer, they produce uric acid in their metabolism. And there's purines provided in there. These are the top two foods, alcohols and added sugars, and also fat. If you look at the glycemic index and how well our body can control sugar spikes, the same time that our blood sugar spikes after we eat sugar, it's an influx of uric acid, and our kidneys cannot get rid of it fast enough. This leads to other underlying conditions that then spike gout even more. And I'm talking it overloads your kidneys, so it can't get rid of that uric acid. I'm talking about diabetes. Your body's overwhelmed with sugar, with uric acid that it can't control, and metabolic syndrome. That means things like fatty liver due to all that extra sugar, and we can't regulate our body quite as well. This blows my mind. Me even going through medical school, even going through surgical residencies, this was never really emphasized to me. It was always tell people not to eat seafood, not to eat beef, to cut down on the meats, don't go to barbecues. But this does not work for everybody. It's getting worse. And there's only one constant. It's those added sugars and alcohol as well. So we can go the traditional route. We can take medications like allopurinol. We can take kidney medications to help you pee it out better. Or we can look at cutting down the added sugar. I've had so many patients when they go on more of a lean meat diet, which theoretically should create more uric acid, their uric acid levels actually drop and they get dramatically better. I don't think that this is debatable now. If you can get your body weight down, if you can cut down your added sugars, eat less calories, your kidneys will work better. It will excrete that uric acid and you won't have that buildup of uric acid. And in fact, studies now show that a uric acid level of 5.5 or higher is correlated to diabetes, to fatty liver syndrome, to kidney disease. Gout is related to all these metabolic diseases. Get rid of that added sugar, those grains, that added fried fat in your diet, and there's a 90% chance your gout will get significantly better. If you're in that 10% group, that something's wrong with your genetics and you just can't metabolize that uric acid properly, that's potentially when medications and the classical treatments might make sense. If that helped, check out my top 7 foods and home remedies for gout to get rid of your pain now.